Good day, everyone. For this day, we will identify economics, its principles, and importance. Economics is the study of scarcity and its implication for the use of resources, productions of goods and service, growth of production, and welfare over time, and a great variety of other complex issues of vital concern to society. Scarcity is one of the key concepts of economics. It means that the demand for a good or service is greater than the availability of the good or service. Economics may be defined as a study of choice given limited financial and natural resources. In a world of unlimited sources, the choice of individual or society mix has no implication whatsoever. However, in a view of the fitness of our resources, every possible choice has own associated cost. Adam Smith, who is also regarded as father of economics, defined economics as an inquiry into the natural and cause of wealth. What economics all about? It's all about economizing, that is about choice among alternative uses of scarce resources. Choice are made by millions of individuals, businesses, and government units. Economic examines how the choice add up to an economic system and how this system operates.
Principles of economics. First, people face trade-offs. Trade-off is a situation that involves losing one quality or aspect of something in return for gaining another quality or aspect. Number two principle is the cost of something is what you give up to get it. Making decisions requires comparing the costs and benefits of alternative courses of action. Nothing comes for free in this world. You give up something in order to gain something. Making decisions requires comparing the costs and benefits of alternative courses of action. The opportunity cost of an item is what you give up to get that item. Third, rational people think at the margin bad. A rational decision maker takes action if and only if the marginal benefit of the action exceeds the marginal cost. Fourth, people respond to incentives. Incentives means something that includes a person to act. It may be punishment or reward. People respond to incentive people because people make decisions by comparing costs and benefits. Incentive plays a central role in study of economics. Incentives are crucial to analyzing how market work. 5. Trade-off can make everyone better off. Trade allows each person to specialize in the activities he or she does best. By trading with others, people can buy a greater variety of goods or services.
Importance of economics. Dealing with a shortage of raw materials, economics provides a mechanism for looking at possible consequences as we run short of raw materials such as gas and fuel. It refers to the volume of raw materials that can technically and economically be expected to be mined. How to distribute resources in society. To what extent should we redistribute income in society? The redistribution of income might achieve not only greater equality, but also faster growth and for developing economies, faster poverty reduction. Is inequality necessary to create economic incentives for does inequality create unnecessary economic and social problems? Economic inequality is the unequal distribution of income and opportunity between different groups in society. It is a concern in almost all countries. To what extent should the government intervene in the economy? A critical divide in economics is the extent to which the government should intervene in the economy. Free market economists like Hayek and Friedman argue for limited government intervention and free markets. Other economists argue government intervention can overcome inequality and the underprovision of public goods. For example, should the government provide health care free at the point of use, or is it more efficient to encourage private health care? The principle of opportunity cost. Politicians win elections by promising more spending and cutting taxes. However, an economist will be aware that everything has an opportunity cost. This is because lower taxes and more spending is what voters want to hear. Spend more on subsidizing free university education and lower spending elsewhere, but is it the best use of public money? Social efficiency. The free market leads to countless examples of market failure. I feel one of the best uses of economics is to provide solutions to overcoming market failure. There is overconsumption. An economist can suggest a tax on driving into towns to internalize the externality. Of course, new taxes are not popular, but it might provide a better solution for society. For example, driving into the center of town creates negative externalities such as pollution and congestion. Knowledge and understanding. One of the principal jobs for economists is to understand what is happening in the economy and investigate reasons for poverty, unemployment, and low economic growth. Economic studies can try to examine the economic effects of immigration. Economic studies can try and evaluate the costs and benefits of free movement of labor. This can help people make a decision about political issues. For example, in a political debate such as should the UK leave the EU, there are many emotional arguments and myths about immigration.
Precast. Economic forecasts are more difficult than understanding the current situation. However, although forecasts are not always reliable, they can give decision makers an idea of possible outcomes. Many economists suggested the UK could struggle with common monetary policy, but if it had been taken on purely political grounds, the UK may have joined. For example, in 2003, the UK took a decision about whether to join the euro. How to deal with economic crisis. In the 1930s, the Wall Street crash precipitated a significant rise in unemployment. There was a debate on how to respond. Many Western governments increased taxes, tariffs, and benefits. This response caused John M. Keynes to develop a new branch of economics focused on dealing with a persistent recession. Evaluation. Economics is not a definitive science like math. Because of many unknown variables, it is impossible to be definitive about outcomes, but a good economist will be aware the result depends on difficult variables and their different potential outcomes. This should help avoid an overly ideological approach. For example, a government may have the philosophy free markets are always best, but an economist will be aware of a more nuanced view that in some markets, like healthcare, transport, government intervention can overcome market failure and improve welfare. But at the same time, it doesn't mean state intervention is always best. Behavior economics. Why do people behave as they do? Can governments subtly nudge people into better behavior, banning cigarette advertising? Are we subject to bias and irrational behavior? Behavioral economics examines the reasons why we make decisions. For example, can we be sucked along by bubble and lose a fortune on the stock market? Applying economic in everyday life. Modern economists have examined economic forces behind everyday social issues. Economics affects our daily lives in both obvious and subtle ways. For example, Gary Becker argued that most crime could be explained by economic costs and benefits.